Urijah Faber minus 470, Brad Pickett plus 375. It's Urijah Faber's retirement fight here. Perfect.
It could be both of the retirement fights.
It could be both of the retirement fights, and it's a good matchup, I think, for Faber's last fight. We've seen him, he lost to Jimmy Rivera in his last fight. And those were always kind of like Faber would win the fights, except for the championship fights at the UFC level. And Jimmy Rivera is no slouch. We kind of knew that going into that fight. But it was kind of like almost like the changing of the guard. It's like, he can't keep up with these young whippersnappers anymore.
So he's taking on an old whippersnapper.
He lost to Cruz before that. Looked pretty battle-worn, and it was a tough fight against Frankie Saenz 3 fights ago.
Well, Frankie Edgar.
Frankie Saenz, I was saying.
But I just mean, when was the last time Faber's had a good performance here? He's looking battle-tested in all these fights,
It's been a tough run. That is the one question, I suppose, with this line, is that does Brad Pickett have one more in him? One more punch. My issue is just Faber's a better athlete. He's faster. You don't knock out Urijah Faber. That's the thing as well. He just doesn't get knocked out. Even the Barao fight, that was a weird stoppage at UFC 149. This one is just shaping into a pass because I just think Urijah Faber is faster, more athletic, and better everywhere except for, Brad Pickett does have some good technical boxing. But I just don't think it's going to matter. I think Urijah Faber wins, but at a price of minus 470, almost 5-1, and a guy that, is probably in the Road to the Octagon show, he's kind of pumping up the tires of his other guys that have fights coming up, because that's the career that he's moving into right now. Is he looking past Brad Pickett? Probably, but will it matter? I don't think it will. So that's why I'm kind of just staying away from betting on this one.
Yeah, I'm going to avoid this one for a number of reasons. First of all, and we've talked about this in the past, is that when a guy's got 1 foot out the door already, when they've already announced their retirement, typically that last fight, save for Mark Munoz, I think is the one guy that kind of pulled it off. If you announce this is your last fight, it's usually done for you. I mean, you're already thinking of, don't really want to do this fighting thing anymore. What's coming after this? Urijah Faber's a prize fighter. He's done this his entire life for the most part. I mean, he was fighting back in gladiator challenge events when you're getting paid absolutely no money to show up in the middle of SoCal and fight some guy. And he was down with that. And he's grown this gym, and he's grown this reputation. And now this California kid, more like a California man, he's 37 years old. And I think when you look at now the trajectory, his best fight, the last time he really looked good is that Michael McDonald performance. And then since then, he's fighting the best guys, but he just looks worse and worse and worse. And some of them are not the best guys. Some of them are Bruce Leroy or Francisco Rivera or Frankie Saenz. Mm-hmm. And those guys are now giving him tough performances. He's beating them, yes, but they're not spectacular performances. When he tights on the best guys, whether it be Cruz or Frankie Edgar or Jimmy Rivera, he's getting eaten up. So we know he's sliding out here. And a lot of people keep telling themselves, Faber, it's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up. It's time to hang it up. He no doubt knows that. So now you're in Sacramento. Now they want to put you on the card. Hey, this is the chance. This is the chance to quietly call it a day and go out. So I know he'll be motivated for it. The problem is that, one, he's already mentally checked out a little bit. When you're looking at this minus 470, I want this guy to be motivated. Mm-hmm. I want this guy to think he's going to be the next world champion. I want this guy fired up. Now I think about Brad Pickett. Geez, he's in a similar boat. He's going to retire at some point. Brad Pickett got smoked against Yuri Alcantara. Bad. And I think that's why the line's so bad here, is that you look and you think, geez, Pickett got smoked out. But that was a bad style fight for him. When you look at Faber's not the better striker. When was the last time Faber just flat out outstruck somebody? Probably Michael McDonald. Yeah. And even in that fight,
that was more of a charge.
Yeah, just charged in. And even that is that he had to get the choke in the end. He got the guillotine. When was the last time he just flat out knocked a guy standing? Not really, He's got good punches. The thing is, feint, level change, overhand right, crazy left. People have figured it out.
The game hasn't changed.
The game hasn't changed. And so people have now figured that out. So you look at that Francisco Rivera fight. Francisco sees the punches coming. He's able to, he gets the bulldog choke on that one.
Didn't see the eye poke coming.
Exactly, did not see the eye poke coming. Bruce Leroy, it's the takedowns that screw him. Frankie Saenz, that's a close fight the whole way. But all these guys are trying to exploit him just ever so slightly. So now that last fight with Jimmy Rivera, he never even came close to the takedown. He never even got a whiff of that takedown. So he start half pulling back on it and not committing to it. Now it's going to be a striking match. Okay, Faber, Now you got to outstrike this guy. Let's see what you got to do. Gun shy. Doesn't throw anything. Because he's like, man, when I throw, the guy's countering me, and I think I'm just going to move around a bit. But he basically stops throwing. When I think about Pickett spent a lot of time working on his wrestling, lots of it. And if Faber does the same thing, if he half shoots on him, he doesn't commit properly, he's going to have to stand with him. And as you said, what's the only thing Pickett might have in here? The technical boxing. Can Pickett just outstrike this guy over 3? Yeah. Faber doesn't. Pickett's got a bad chin. We know that. But Faber's not really showing the kind of striking that's going to just be, he's going to go out and knock him out. All I'm saying is I get why Faber's the favorite. He's at home. This is his own backyard. He's probably traditionally the better fighter. He's been the higher caliber guy. But minus 470. Yeah. This seems to me like a minus 240 Faber, like a minus 250 Faber.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't pay.
It's dog or pass.
I wouldn't pay
if you want to take a wild shot on. I wouldn't even say it's wild, but if you want to take a shot on Pickett, you take the shot on Pickett. But
if I'm looking at the first 4, or if this is first 3, I like the first 2 favorites in the first 2 fights. I like Sage, I like Page, I see the narrative. I do. Here, I see the narrative. I just don't necessarily agree with it. This is not as straightforward as Faber's retirement fight. Come watch Faber win one last time. It's like, ooh, this might be a tough fight, man.